the most important words in sports is Game 7. Here in the league, we have the closest thing to that. Game 5. Winner takes all here in the playoffs. Gammachuu representing Team Kappa. WillardJBradley representing WJPTBB. Welcome, friends. I am Adirondack Rick, welcoming you to this game number 5. Along with me for the ride is Brewers fan JP. JP, introduce to our friends what mode we're going to be playing this evening.
So this evening we've got some all dungeons key sanity coming up for you. Clear all 10 dungeons, clear Ganon's Tower, get through Aga 1 as well. And yeah, you have to clear everything basically. This is essentially as close to a full clear game as you can get. This will be open mode with randomized swords, I believe.
That is right. The big thing here, of course, is the key sanity aspect. That's going to make things a little interesting for these runners. As we get things ready to go, let's talk also about what the stakes are for this. Obviously, for both of these teams, the winner, they're moving on in the tournament. They're going to be facing off against CLW in the next round. The losers, they're out of this tournament. These teams definitely know much about each other. We've seen enough of them in these past 5 games.
Yep. This is... Yeah, I mean, this has been about as close as you can get. 6 games between the teams so far, including the regular season, and it is an even split at 3-3. So... I mean, you said this is only a game 5 in the league, and that's true for the bracket, but it's essentially a game 7 right now.
It is. It's got the feeling of that game 7. It is very much tension between both of these runners.
Yeah,
one of these 2 teams is going home, providing we don't have a tie.
And the tough thing about that is, as we start, both of these players have lost their 1 bracket match so far. So you could argue these are both teams' best players. One of them is going to go having lost both their bracket matches, which is going to really hurt, and that's just really tough to see overall.
WillardJBradley faced off against Fear Agent in game number 3. That was when the WJPTBB was up 2-0. However, he ended up taking the loss in that match. As Gammachuu, what match did he end up playing in?
He played in game 1 against JTB, and I believe it was he lost by about 30 seconds.
So a very tight finish here, and maybe we might get the same here, as WillardJBradley will end up going for his 200-plus rupee prize of going down to the Houlihan room as Gamba goes and gets our first key. We get our first of our Palace of Darkness small keys.
And Willard looks like he's going to make the Saharsla play, or maybe a South Shore play. He's picking up bombs.
Yeah, he's going to pick up some bombs, and oh, well, that's unfortunate to find bombs in the house, but...
That's not too bad, actually. I mean, if he's planning for South Shore, a 10-pack will definitely be better anyway.
But I think he's going to make the play over here to Saharsla, and then he'll make his way towards the South Shore. Perhaps, maybe he might make the play over towards Eastern this early on. I mean, Key Sanity can make you do interesting things.
Yeah, and like this is all dungeons Key Sanity, so you have to almost get everything. Not quite everything, but pretty close to everything.
But Race Game just has 10 arrows. We're not going to see that, but we are going to get some information about this. See, the green pendant is Desert Palace.
Still good to know your pendants and crystals, but as Willard finds Hookshot and Fire Rod. Okay.
Hookshot is a nice item to get early on. Before you get the boots, that can help give you a source of speed.
Yeah, if you use the hookshot effectively, you can definitely get around a little faster.
Hey, V-Torp, I thought these things were randomized. What is the bottle doing in the tavern?
It had random goo in it.
Well, yeah, it had red goo in it, and as for that, the sick kid gives us a red rupee.
You know, it's kind of cruel. You got sick kid there. You've got a bottle of medicine, and you don't give it to him. You just show it to him.
Maybe he had decided that Link, since he's putting his body up to all these dangerous minions of Ganons across 2 lands, decided, you know what, I might be sick, but you're going to need this. Willard finds some clothes in Eastern Palace. A nice safety at the early part of this run.
Yep. Yeah, early with so few hearts, you want to have a little extra.
Also, getting the hook shot is nice to be able to do this move over to this chest in Eastern. We get ourselves Ho-Ho, the Moon Pearl. This could pay off for Willard finding that early item.
Yeah, he's finding some really good stuff early. Let's first our 3 pieces of Darkhold access.
As we get our first of our castle tower keys from Gammachuu. Add plus bombos, 10 arrows, and our first sword.
Yeah, those are also all pretty good pickups as well.
Whether picking up a key, this is, that's a beautiful key to find. The Swamp Palace Small. This being all dungeons, you're definitely going to need that.
One of the few absolutely required keys. The other 2 we're going to be having to keep a good eye out for that can really cause problems. I know Willard's had plenty of problems with this one, is the Castle Tower keys.
Mm-hmm. Which we've already seen one of them so far. We get another Dark Palace key and a blue cane for Gammachuu as Willard tries to go through the dark here with the hook shot in hand. And it's Cane Cave here for Gammachuu.
Alright. Some nice stuff out of Kakariko as well. And so far what they've both found, the other runner's going to eventually find. Not going to wait too long.
So Gamma's now making his way up over towards the Uncle as well as maybe Hyrule Castle, especially now that we've got the sword in hand. And Willard sequence breaks his way to 3 bombs. So one unfortunate thing about Willard here is the fact that he's going to isolate the Eastern Palace big chest, which may not come back to haunt him because, you know, we got a couple of we got actually, what was it, 2 big items in there plus a nice safety.
Yeah, we just got the second Castle Tower key. I would start thinking about this being Aga for Darkhold access. No, we always talk about it in normal modes, but when you get 2 Castle Tower keys that fast, this is looking like Aga. Which is not so bad because they have to do it anyway because it's all dungeons.
Right, but it depends on how you're going to route it if you actually need to go to him to get Dark World access, because the route that you would love to take is to do the Ganon's Tower into the Aga Tower play at the very end of the seed. We're getting a bunch of keys early on. We got a nice palace key inside of the dam, and now underneath the water we get the small key to Thieves Town.
It's another nice one to pick up. Something you can make sure you check when you do Thieves Town. But, yeah, in normal mode you would definitely want to do Aga Tower last if you can, but at the same time it's Key Sanity. That also means the 2 items in Aga Tower will have something else. So that's not something you want to put off to the end.
But obviously we do not have logical access to either of the items at this point. We're lacking a lamp, that would be the second item. We're lacking a cape, which would be access to the first item. We get ourselves the flute, we get the big key to Swamp, we get ourselves the first glove.
Okay. So that puts us a little closer to Dark World access as well. Now just need another glove or a hammer.
And the thing with Willard is that this is now going to have him abandon what he was maybe going to do with a trip on over towards the Ice Rod Cave. He's going to go and activate the flute. Obviously, since he hasn't done Kakariko Village, that is going to be part of his route here.
And that's fine in this mode because
absolutely,
But especially since he picked up the flute, he can easily get back over there.
We get the compass to Dark Palace. Ya freaking who? And for those who haven't seen a Key Sanity match or a bunch of these matches that we've had over the course of the past couple of weeks here in the league, compasses don't do a whole lot of things for this level of runner.
Yeah, if you're newer to the game, it's a nice thing to find because it'll tell you how many checks you've got in a dungeon. But these runners basically know everything they need to check, so it doesn't really help.
So Gammachuu, before he checks the South Shore area, he is going to get that hook shot. Now, the other thing here with Willard, now that he's got the hook shot plus the flute, maybe he might be thinking Death Mountain once after he's done with this play.
Yeah, you got the hookshot flutes. That's a pretty good combo to get a lot of items up there. Most likely our next logical progression as it is.
Who knows what the rule is going to be in Key Sanity? I mean, you're often going to be seeing yourself having to double dip at least something at this point. That's why both of these runners are perfectly fine diving into Eastern Palace.
Yeah, so Gamma will get his Moon Pearl out of this.
So Willard activating, he still has a little more to do inside of this village before he makes his next decision. As Gamma will be making his way to get the Moon Pearl in just a few moments. First he'll get this change of clothes. Team Kappa, the number 1 team of the Lost Woods division, versus WJPTBB, the number 2 team in the division. Winner will be moving on to the conference semifinals. They'll be the divisional champions. And Gamma almost thinking about a save and quit, which would have been interesting because then he'd be passing up the Swamp Small.
That could definitely have hurt, depending on where the Eastern Big is. It was still far away from that. Oh, well, it might not be that far, but we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we still got a whole lot of checks on the table, including the very, very wealthy Death Mountain area. We still have the back 3 of Escape to check as well. Gamma is not going to do the sequence break, so he's going to miss out on the 3 bombs for now, and maybe he'll come back later.
Willard, I don't think he's gone into the Lost Woods, so he'll do that before he finishes up in before he probably flutes away.
My estimation for Willard is that he's going to probably dive into the tree and then see what's on the ledge and then flute away. Either that or he'll do a save and quit, either or.
I think Willard, picking up that full magic, that's a good pick up there.
Oh yeah, beautiful
Willard
pickup.
Yeah, I think he might have been thinking about fake flippers at one point, but his rupees are down a bit, so he'll probably wait until he gets back up to 500.
Well, that's the exact reason why he picked up that 20 right there. Seeing that he was at 442, you never know when Zora's going to be on the table. In fact, Zora is logically on the table at this point with the gloves.
He's actually doing a save and quit. Interesting. He might check the back of Escape. That's my guess, especially since he has the flute now. Or
So
maybe
he starts
not.
at home, so he's just going to flute away here. He's not heading to the castle just yet, so we'll see what he does up on top of the mountain. Gamma starting here at the St. Sanctuary. He's already done Kakariko Village. Is going to turn to the right, so therefore he'll give us the new looks at the back 3 of Escape. Willard making his way through the man, the old man. Gamma's getting a piece of heart, the bow. Another piece of heart. Now that bow does not unlock anything just yet.
Yeah, not yet. You'll definitely need it.
Well, yeah, you're definitely going to need it, but here in Key Sanity, you don't have anything to do with the Eastern until you get the Eastern Palace Big Key.
Yeah, and then it's pretty similar for Pod as well.
Absolutely. So now Gammachuu is going to go ahead and activate the flute as Willard is up here on the mountain, and we're going to find a map, which he's definitely not going to check at this point because we don't have a mirror.
Yep, probably going to leap down and head and hookshot across to check the right side.
So Willard now making his way over to the right-hand side as Gamma does activate the flute. Team Kappa featuring Gammachuu, Fear Agent, who was just playing a few minutes ago against JTB. And 1UP40, who was the one who opted, or one who is not running 2 races this week for the team. WJPTBB consists of WillardJBradley, WJTB, or JTB rather, and a certain person named JP that's here with me. There's our flippers right there, so that will put a few more items into logic here in the Lake Hylia area.
Be a nice check to do next after he finishes up in we're up on the right side.
Getting ourselves our second sword. There's a big key that is to Skull Woods. Of all the big keys you don't want to see, that is one of the few of them.
Yeah, we actually have the 2 big keys we really don't want to see so
yeah, exactly. Swamp Palace as well.
I mean, you'll take them. It's an item you can get. You won't have to leave it behind, but you need other big keys.
It doesn't unlock a boss. We get 20, we get rather 5 rupees on the floating island as Willard has one final check here. And this is to Spiral Cave, so you know where I'm thinking the next piece of progression is.
I think it's got to be maybe Zora area at this point.
Yep, flipper checks. That is the only major substantial item that we have. Now, obviously, there could still be something inside of the castle tower first chest.
Let's find out. Well, got another small key.
To Skull Woods.
I'm surprised Willard hasn't found both castle tower keys. I'm trying to remember where Gamma found the other castle tower small.
Wasn't it on the Hyrule, the underneath Hyrule near the uncle?
Ah, yes, you're right. Because with Master Sword and Fire Rod, you might be tempted to go for Aga at this point. Even though it's not in logic without Lamp, you know you gotta do it anyway. You have stuff that'll get you access to quite a bit of Dark World, so it'll be very tempting to make that play once you have that second key.
What makes this more tempting is the fact that both keys to Aga's Tower are Spear 1s.
Yeah, that as well. And that's partially why I think it might be a Agaseed to get to Darkhold anyway. Because you got those keys so fast.
Alright, Willard is going for the flipper checks right now. And when we do have people in chat talking about the logic in regards to the Fire Rod. Now, the Fire Rod does unlock one location right now. Dark across. Agus Tower is not considered completable with the use of the fire rod. There's a mirror, which will get us into the Tower of Hera if we want, and a book that can get us into desert.
Yeah, that's an interesting waterfall cave. Now, you could go up to Hera at this point. You could clear most of it. You wouldn't be able to get the big chest or the basement chest, but it's another 4 checks if you want to take it.
Mm-hmm. Plus, that also does open up the ether tablet with the use of the book and the Master Sword.
So that's some nice checks, but like I said again, you got to be careful here.
Yep.
You're starting to get checks that are only a few checks and spread apart.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to weigh if it's worth it or not, especially since logically you can't clear either of those dungeons.
Which is why at this point the Ice Rod Cave is the worst of the possible locations because that's a one-off. Whereas we're talking about the other locations, if you're talking going back up here to the mountain, we've got the logical checks here with the Tower of Hera, which is the 2 checks that are in the lobby and downstairs, because we don't have the small key or the big key by logic at this point. We have, of course, the ether tablet, which is what Willard's also going to be checking while he is up here. Gamma's going to go show us what's on the island, which we saw from Willard earlier. It was a piece of heart.
And he's heading up to the waterfall as well. I think, looks like both of them are leaving the hobo alone for now. Which is fine, which will end up being fine. Oh, yeah.
Willard almost got talked to for a long, long time. We get ourselves, of course, that's the map to Desert Palace. We know that's the green pendant already.
Yeah, I think if you talk to that guy, you lose about 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's how long he talks. He talks about some song he wrote. There's the lamp! Aga now is fully on the table.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be a bit better for Gamma than Willard, because Willard hasn't gone to Castle Tower yet, or hasn't gone to Hyrule Castle yet to get that second Castle Tower key.
Yeah, but, you know, that might push him into that direction at some point real soon, as we get ourselves the, of course, a map that we don't really need, the map to Ganon Tower. And then Willard getting a piece of heart. So the reason why the seed wanted us to go upstairs, or go up here, was to get the logical entrance to Aga's Tower. Interesting seed this has been. Everybody needs to go up the mountain multiple times.
Yeah, it actually is, because you had to get the flippers from Paradox, or not, yeah, Paradox Cave.
You had to get the flippers and the Master Sword.
And Gamma is going for, looks like he's going to go for Aga Tower here.
Yeah, he's going to grab the magic first to help him up on the way up. As we do know our tracker here that's running behind the scenes, I think they misclicked as far as who has the lamp. Gamma does not have the lamp, it's Willard who does.
And having that lamp, if Gamma is going for Aga Tower, having that lamp, or not having that lamp, will slow him down a little, but if you know where the torches are, it's not too bad.
And that's why he picked up the magic, is because he's getting ready to fire rod these torches. Well, they're doing some sword spins here. Just barely missed. But gets Moldorm down. What did we just sequence break and picked up? 10 arrows. But it is a crystal. Mark 1 crystal for WJPTBB. This do or die game number 5.
So what is Willard's next move? He's going to check out deserts.
There's the flute to 6, yep. What do we have? We have a map on the ledge there, and watch this be the Hyrule Castle map. Gamma's just checking Dark Cross, got himself a piece of heart, did not use any of his magic, and with good reason. He wants to use it for this next section.
So with what he's got, Gamma's got 4 fire rod shots here. And if he needs them for the torches, he's gonna have to be pretty precise. He can basically only miss 2.
I think you'll be perfectly fine. And the reason I say that is more because if you can get yourself aligned and know that when you're one portion smaller or below, that's the big key to Eastern Palace. We do need the boost to get a small key off the torch. So if Gamma goes down just a little bit, he knows where the torches will be, but it looks like he's using the beam swords to work his way out of the first room. That was a pretty precise fire rod shot right there.
He picked up the big key to Eastern, so Eastern's completable. But he's gonna finish this up first.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got the mirror.
Willard is stealing the key from the back of Desert.
Yeah, so Willard doesn't have the big key to Desert Palace at this point. So he wants to find out what he can get over on the right-hand side. One of the things that you can get yourself into trouble with is if you go a little too far beyond the logic and you forget where you are. And Key Sanity makes it a little easier to do that.
Yeah, the only thing is I don't think he took a death or anything before doing this, so he's not going to be save scumming this key. He's just outright using it. So
we may also be considering the idea that he might have to come back later on because of the fact that there's a small key on the torch to begin with.
Yeah, unfortunately it did not pay off for him. So yeah, this is, I mean, I definitely kind of agree with the play, but yeah, he's got to now hope that Desert Key is somewhere that's not too bad.
I think at this point, Willard was really hoping that he could get something that was logically required in those 2 chests, and unfortunately, he did not.
The one also bad thing here is that Desert Palace is a pendant.
Yeah.
So that Desert Small can be about anywhere. So
the only place where it can't be is on the pedestal.
Well, so we'll see. This definitely makes me a little uneasy.
There's a small key to Hyrule Castle. And that's where Willard needs to go now.
I think we've pretty well established this is now, and this is definitely an Agassiz for Dark World access.
Another way that it wouldn't have been is if the hobo had something, but there's extremely small odds that he does. As Willard will get his second Castle Tower key now. He will be able to route this a little bit better than what we saw from Gammachuu by the fact that he's got the lamp off the ether tablet, but after digging Desert, you've got to think Willard might be thinking he's a little behind.
I think he was trying to avoid this until he found the second Castle Tower key.
Which is understandable. Unfortunately, it's right there.
Yeah.
So we do know that we did have a piece of heart in the Dark Cross. Willard might go ahead and check that first before he does anything else.
Yeah, he's gonna check Dark Cross, he'll check the basement, and then he'll go upstairs. Actually, thinking about it a little bit more, there's 3 possibilities for where an item could be that could have made this not Aga for Dark World. In addition to Hobo, there is also the big chest of Eastern and the Eastern Palace boss. Those would have also been in logic, technically.
Yeah, but if you're already making this path up here to Aga, you might as well just complete it at that stage. I mean, as we pointed out before, this is an all-dungeon seed, so you have to beat them at some point in time, and the way this logic is, take a look at the inventory. We've got flippers, we've got hookshot, We've got the Master Sword. We've got both of the Castle Tower keys. This seed is screaming Aga.
Yeah, because you have more than enough access to get anywhere in Dark World right now.
Mep is the item here over on the desert, or rather on the pyramid ledge, and it is the map to Swamp Palace. So Willard is going to go ahead and do these checks here in the castle, and then he'll make his way over to Aghanim. The one good note here for Willard is that he is a Tower of Hera ahead of Gammachuu, so it's not like Willard is way behind at this point.
Yeah, he's also checked part of Desert, so
yeah,
he's got that going for him as well.
And in that case here, he needs Gammachuu to kind of counter what he just did. Maybe not steal a key what he did, but at least go in there without being able to fully beat the dungeon.
Going into Pod, we've got 2 keys plus the bow. With that, you can basically get all but, I'd say, 2 or 3 items, depending on how we route it.
Willard barbecuing the ball and chain guard to get his compass to the Dark Palace, where 14 total chests are in here for Gammachuu, and he gets a key to Skull Woods inside chest number 1.
Oh, Gammachew's not even going to worry about the bow side. He just went through the front door. So he'll need 5 keys now to finish, or to full clear this. That is a time savings, because he won't have to keep going through the right side over and over. But at the same time, this almost actually hurt them in Game 3, when I think Fear used an extra key in Pod, and he needed to find an extra key to actually hit Go mode. I believe Pod key was his Go mode.
Yep. Because it was Rambler and me on the call for game number 3. The only big difference here is... why are we using our potion? You've got the bow.
Yeah, this is strange. Gamma's got the bow. Why is he doing this mimic clip? Or, like, screen transition technically, I guess.
Well, he exactly pulls it off, but he didn't need to. Okay, friends, we're going to continue on with this now as Willard makes his way up to the tower. So Gamma now is going to get these boots that were not sequence broken, and the map to Hyrule Castle, which wasn't sequence broken.
Those boots are nice. I don't think they'll elude Willard too long. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a similar play to Gamma after coming out of...
he will. And in fact, JP, this kind of plays into going into Palace of Darkness early. You just got the Eastern Palace big key. You've already delved into that dungeon. Now with the mirror in hand, you can at least get to the Palace of Darkness, go as far in as you possibly can, and then mirror out to finish off Eastern. Although I do hope that Gammachuu does remember that he has the bow, because then he won't be able to finish off Eastern.
Kind of strange. I'm hoping, yeah, he just sat there and was like, he did the post glitch, and then he's like, oh, I'm dumb.
Ice Rod.
No Ice Rod hunt today here.
Hey, compasses downstairs to the Tower of Hera and Misery Mire. And yet, just as a note for our tracker, Gammachuu does indeed have the gloves, rather. He doesn't have a key.
He's got to set up a bomb jump here.
Yes, he does. But you notice how he's going to reset this, so that way he gives himself the ample amount of time to start pulling this off.
So he's got the setup. Yep. And he can't open the big chest. No big key. Oh, he still doesn't have the lamp. So he's gonna be a little slower in this maze because he's gonna have to use his sword to get him around.
We've got ourselves the map to Ice Palace. Such the best place of all.
You know, I haven't been paying attention to this Aga fight, but apparently we must have gotten a lot of blue balls because it seems like it's been going on for a while. Chat said 9, but I just thought they were joking. He actually might be getting 9. I mean, you can't blame me for thinking when chat says something like that that it might have been a little sarcastic.
Well, they're saying 9, 500, various other things. Willard is done. Gamma is now in Eastern, so now he has remembered this bow. We will have to talk to him about this decision to mimic clip when he didn't need to mimic clip. And it looks like Willard is going to go and check to see that there's a map on the pyramid. Gets the map to Swamp Palace just like Gammachuu did. And if he turns to the right, then he's going to ice, but he's not, or rather to the pod, but he's not.
Okay, that's gonna give Gammachuu a bit of an advantage for the longer he's got the boots.
And he's not hook-shotting over. He's checking a place that came to be very important. Game number 4.
Straight for catfish.
He was watching this game 4, so he knows that was one of the biggest differences in the match between JTB and Fear Agent, because Catfish had the bombos. And I think after he does this, it's going to be a save and quit. He goes back onto the pyramid, then he might go to Palace of Darkness.
We'll see once he... I'm almost certain he's going to save and quit after this.
And he gets a key to Dark Palace.
That actually is kind of good, because it'll mean he can check more when he goes in there.
Well, Gammachuu gets the tempered sword off the Armos Knights. Willard has not done a save and quit, so he's not going back to the pyramid. Now the question is, does he go across the other side of Hyrule?
I think he's going to. If he was...
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's definitely... If he was thinking of something else, he would have... if he was thinking of pod, he would have saved and quit.
So one unfortunate marker here is that Willard is not going to have the boots for a little bit, but maybe he wants to make sure that he can get through the Palace of Darkness in one go before he goes in. Kind of similar to how it was with him in the Castle Tower. So Gamma now making his way over to here. Is he going to check Catfish?
He looks like he's going to Catfish.
Yes, he is going to Catfish, as Willard will get a map, and this map goes to Misery Mire. So far, this has been a very interesting game number 5 between these two.
Yeah, we'll see how this continues to play out. There's still quite a bit to go. We need so much before we're even close to go mode at this point.
Oh yeah, we're a long, long way to go mode. This being all dungeons, we need a whole lot more big keys. We need a whole lot more small keys before we can even entertain the possibility of being in go mode. You know, the interesting thing is nobody's checked the lumberjack, so we don't even know what's inside there at this point, although Gamma could grab whatever's inside.
Yeah, he's got boots. He might be trying a couple. He might be doing the northern boots checks here that Willard couldn't do.
Yep. And the first of those boot checks is going to be over here with the King's Tomb. As Willard, because he's got the fire rod, he is going to make his way over to Skull Woods.
Can full clear this right now?
Yes, he can. Of course, to be fair, you can even full clear it if you get no keys to go inside at the very, very beginning.
Well, you can full clear minus big chest. If you don't have the big.
True, yeah. Yep. We know how the big chest will have nothing important, right?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Just agree with me at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thank you. Willard making his way to the back of Skull Woods. 4.5 hearts in his inventory at this point.
Scott Blue Mail. He also has a red potion, I believe.
Yeah, he still has the red potion, which Gamma used on the Mimic Clip.
The Mimic Clip that he's gonna definitely feel a little bad about later.
Yeah, because we're gonna make sure that we remind him of it. Either or. Well, they're now up to 6.5 hearts. Not quite as sweaty at this point. As Gamma finds a small key. This is another Palace of Darkness small key. That'd be the 5th in our game so far, right? Or is that 4th?
That's our 4th.
4th, yep.
Or, yeah, that's our 4th. So technically, bot is definitely a double dip, but there's still the potential of being able to single dip it, depending on
nice
how you run.
Mothula fight there for WillardJBradley as Gamma's about to go and show us what is in the Lumberjack. We do learn that Skull Woods is one of our pendants. And it's butter. That is the prize for having the boots plus lamp plus Zag of Death.
I'm a little surprised that Gamma's not even picking that sword up.
Yeah, it kind of figures at this point that it's just going to be a little to gain for bonking into that tree.
Yeah, if Willard actually bonks straight into that tree and checks it, which Gamma honestly should have done. If you've already cleared Aga, you should, and you don't know it's there, you just do that.
Hey, we get the Ganon's Tower Big Key inside of Skull Woods. All right, everyone, put your hands together. It's time to see whether or not the pedestal is going to be required. There's the Titansmiths. And now you know where the boss hides. This pedestal is not required.
I believe that is a compass.
There's the Desert Small. That's good news for Willard.
Let's
found out that Myers a
crystal, Swamp's a crystal. I think Swamp was a red crystal.
Yep, Swamp was a red. But yeah, that Desert Palace key being here in Skull Woods helps Willard out tremendously. Because if that Desert Small key turned out to be somewhere nasty, like Ganon's Tower or out of the way somewhere, Willard's not getting that for a while.
Yeah,
and thankfully, Willard just did a U-turn and went back in, because that would have been even more dangerous if he didn't go back in here.
Yeah, let's say, why are you walking out of there? You've got the front to check.
There's a Turtle Rock small key right there as well. Got a heart container inside of this chest. Doesn't matter whether or not. Nice clip through the spikes in order to get to this check right here of all of 10 arrows. Doesn't matter if there was a key in there or not, because Willard does have the mirror. Hopefully he remembers he has the skull big. There's that Desert Small for him. And there we go. So he is going to check the big chest. You know, I got to learn that setup. I always just worry about falling off the ledge, and that's the end of it for me.
Well, similar to what you can do in Hera, if you can bonk, you can extend the your margin for error there from 2 pixels to 6. The problem is, though, most of the time when you're in there, you have a key, so if you try to bonk, you'll just unlock the door and run through it.
Willard now going into the sea house, where he gets a lonesome arrow that does absolutely nothing for him whatsoever because he was already sitting at 30.
Going to see a front of Thieves Town check. No big key means he'll be just checking these front 4 and then out. Unless he finds the big key, then he could clear it, but he has no hammer, so that'd be a little risky.
We get ourselves a small key to the Tower of Hera.
That's something Willard left behind. No idea if he's going to go back up there anytime soon.
Well, he's got additional reason to go back up to the mountain, but I don't see him going back to Tower of Hera just to check that one at this point. Especially the amount of time it takes for you. And Gamma's about to find out the same information that Willard does about the pedestal. Doesn't tell us which boss we're talking about.
Yep, just a boss. We don't know which boss.
Speaking of finding out where the boss is, we get the compass to Ice Palace.
This is interesting by Gamma. Okay, this actually makes some sense. He has not been up to Hera yet.
Yep.
So he's going to do Hera, and then he can do the Dark World Death Mountain checks.
Or vice versa. Looks like he might be doing that part first. Misery Mire Small, which is not a key that you really need in order to beat the dungeon, but it does help with your routing of the dungeon.
As much as those boots are giving Gamma, buying the Gamma some time, basically, the longer he has them ahead of Willard, the more time he'll gain. But at the same time, they haven't led to anything important yet, so...
Yeah, just led to a Palace of Darkness small key at this stage.
So the dip into pod that Willard's selling is going to hurt a bit, but it's not terrible yet.
We get ourselves a boomerang as well as the map to Thieves Town. As Willard is about to go dig. You remember when it used to be 15 digs guaranteed every single time to get the item? That time was 14. Ether is what we're going to be needing in order to get into Turtle Rock this time around. And we get ourselves another Ganon's Tower small key to start off our hookshot cave, a compass. To that aforementioned Turtle Rock, we get ourselves a heart container, and the last of the checks is the not Ether medallion.
Yeah, Willard is doing a lot of overworld. Someone in the chat actually brought this up, that Willard doing so much overworld right now actually does kind of hurt without those boots, because he's doing this much slower. If he was focusing on dungeons a bit more, finds a big key.
Yo, Desert Palace! Now Willard can beat this dungeon. As Gamma's about to pick up his lamp.
Yeah, overworld is definitely, it hurts a bit more than not having boots. Looking at where we are in dungeons right now, we're starting to get some good big keys. We still need to find Pod, Thieves Town, Mire, and Turtle Rock. We technically need Ice as well, but...
And technically we also need the Tower of Hera.
Yes, you're right. Technically we need Hera as well.
We may never see it, but technically we need it.
And actually, looking at where our items are, at least what Gamma's got, we're approaching item go mode. Or at least item no mode for us. Like, Hammer and Ether, I think, are the two big things we still need to figure out.
Yep. No, he's not going to get either of those here in the Tower of Hera.
Yeah, well, Willard finding like the hammer and the big key to pod in Hype Cave would be pretty nice right now.
Willard finding something out of all of this stuff that he's checking would be really, really nice. Even Turtle Rock big key.
Here's what he's doing. He's gonna do Hype Cave, then he's gonna come back, turn in the chest. He'll check the Bombos tablet, and then he's gonna finish Deserts.
Yeah, he'll probably flute to 6 and check it for that way. We get ourselves a big key. That is to Turtle Rock. A big key to Ice Palace. And 1 1/4 hearts and 20 rupees. And Gamma, now finished up with the mountain, is going to return down here. And judging by his frantic fluting, that's not where he wanted to go. So he's going to flute to 6.
He's going to check the Mire area too. If he goes in the desert, that'll help Willard because it'll be a double dip for Gamma.
Absolutely. It'll help negate some of what we saw earlier, with the exception that Willard, without the boots, is still leaving behind that key that's on the torch. Quake is needed to get into Misery Mire.
We have no Mire big key, so we could go into Mire, but we can't finish it.
And 300 rupees at the Bombos. Nothing big inside of the Mire shed here, and what looks like Willard is not choosing to go over towards the Mire Desert. He knows that small key is on the torch. Probably it's a circumstance of Willard not wanting to go back to desert until he has the boots.
He's gonna check the first 2 in Swamp.
Interesting here. But if it comes up something big, he could come out with a big advantage. It's a Palace of Darkness. There's key number 5. So 2 Palace of Darkness keys were locked behind the boots that were inside the Palace of Darkness.
So Willard making this play. I mean, if he finds Hammer here, he's got a massive advantage. But I don't know if there's anything else he could find here that would be maybe the pod. Well, not even the pod big would be interesting, but it wouldn't necessarily be a huge advantage.
Chest number 1, we find 300 rupees. And the last chance saloon here for Willard is a 20 rupee.
Yeah, unfortunately, that did not pay off.
So Gamma now making his way over to the checkerboard cave, and Willard needs to get to the Palace of Darkness. I think at this point, he needs to at least consider it, because...
Yeah, I know he wants to do this in one shot. But at this point, he's leaving... There's so many items in there.
Yeah, there's so many items in there, and the bigger part of this is the fact that we now know that 2 of the Palace of Darkness small keys are locked behind the boots. And he's just gonna get 10 bombs from the Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, he's going to desert. He's gonna kill. He's gonna go kill Land Molas and check the big chest here. He's
also gonna get the information what he needs in order to get into Misery Mire. Find out that it's the Quake, as Gamma looks like he might be getting ready to do some Thieves Town / overworld checks. Interesting note being left behind by Chad is the fact that it is the green pendant inside a desert. So that might add a little more incentive for Willard to get it back in here.
A little bit of muscle memory there.
Yeah. You could tell the minute that he had pulled it up and was like, oh, that's right. I already grabbed it earlier. As Gamma gets the small key to the Tower of Hera, there still could be something big that's downstairs there in the Tower of Hera that they left behind because they Hera-potted. But when would you even make that play? As Willard faces off against the Lamola. Almost. But gets him on the second cycle here. Gets a bee in a bottle. And, of course, the green pendant. Somebody in chat was asking about where the desert big and small keys were. The big key was in Hype Cave. The small key was in Skull Woods. Both runners already had picked that up. Willard making his way back in here. How many keys do you need in order to full clear pod?
If you go through the Bowlock side every time, and you do the bomb jump, you can do it in 4 to full clearance. If you leave a couple chests behind, you only need 2 to clear it.
Both runners finding pieces of heart. And Willard now is going to check Checkerboard Cave, and I think at this stage he's got to go to the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, if he goes anywhere else, he's basically just grasping at straws, trying to avoid pod, because at this point, there's so much in pod, you can't put it off. I get him putting it off as long as he did, but he's got to go back.
Mm-hmm. So the flute comes out, and obviously when he does go to the Palace of Darkness, he will check in with Sahasrahla, but we're going up the mountain.
He's going to check the Dark Death Mountain checks right now, which is 6 items.
6 items versus the limited that you might find somewhere else. Oh, Desert Palace Big Key was there at the Breadsmith. It's not a Hype Cave, sorry.
But at this point, like, Gamma's advantage. He's had those boots for, a half hour now?
Yep.
And you can just see it. You can see how much faster he's clearing stuff. This is just eating into the time Willard has.
Mm-hmm. And you know who you're up against. You can't afford to give up that kind of time. So boots are in the Palace of Darkness. They're on the right-hand side beyond the mimics. Where is the hammer?
I will say the one thing that could help Willard right now is if he does more pod than Gamma did and finds hammer. That might help him. Oh, that mushroom is also another possibility. We have not checked the mushroom yet.
It's been so long, I forgot where we even picked that mushroom, until we saw that from Stumpy here on Gamma's side.
And the Gamma, he's gonna check. He's gonna open the purple chest here. He's gonna do Bombo's tablet, and then he might make the same play and go into deserts.
And there's the Quake for Willard, knowing that he's going to need that for Misery Mire down the road. He's going to go check to see what he needs to get into Turtle Rock, but we do know he can't get in there at this stage. And there is the save and quit for Willard.
This might be him going to pod now, because this will put him on the pyramid. Nope. Oh no, he's got the mirror. Okay, I was about to say he didn't mirror right away. He's got the mirror out.
There's two reasons why he may have been pulling out this mirror. The first reason is to go ahead and maybe check Hobo, since nobody has checked that, and you do have easy access to him here next to the bridge. And the other reason is to go ahead and check to see what Sahasrahla has. So here's the Hobo check right now. All right, Hobo, what do we got for us? You took the clothes off his back.
Interesting. Gamma's making the same play Willard did and is going to check the first two in Swamp. So this will give Willard back some... Never mind.
He thought about it, and then he decided against it. Oh, wait. I have an idea I know what he's up to. He's going to turn in this mushroom first, and then maybe he might pull off that play, preserving his portal at 7.
That is a possibility, too. Well, what's on the mushroom?
Big key! The Dark Palace!
Ooh. So we now know Willard is going to have to... We'll have to double dip this as well.
And gets 20 rupees from Sahasrahla. And Gamma going past the portal. So Willard could have had the Palace of Darkness big key, but did not turn in the mushroom. I was wondering if he was waiting to maybe do some fake powdering before he turns in the mushroom.
Potentially, yeah. And right now, it would not surprise me after Gamma does this check if he goes back to Pod to check those few chests he's got access to now.
Mm-hmm. He's got the keys in order to do it at this point.
I think chat's asking if Hammer could be in Pod with 5 keys in some of these chests. I think you can, because you can't unlock the 6th door without the hammer. Pod key logic sometimes gets a little weird.
And Gamma is making a different kind of play, but he pulls out the mirror. This is going to be a finished desert for him.
Finished desert, he might dip in the mire. Mire actually wouldn't be a bad idea right now. That's 6 checks he can make.
Absolutely. While Willard continues to avoid the Palace of Darkness, he's right around the corner at this point, but wants to finish off Eastern, which I can understand again. Trying to limit the double dips, but Key Sanity is giving him quite the fits about this. All right, so Willard's about to go ahead and face off against the Armos here. He will have his tempered sword as a result for finishing off this dungeon. Willard does not get the quick kill this time around, lost control of one of them, but does pick up his tempered sword, and he will pick up his fourth dungeon beat at the same time that Gamma is working on his fourth dungeon.
Yeah, dungeon-wise, they're about even. Though I still feel like Gamma's ahead, just because he's been able to route stuff so much faster.
Mm-hmm. It's not a position here where Willard is far too far behind, but Willard does need a lucky break to go his way.
Yeah, like the biggest thing I think of is if Willard checks one of the chests that Gamma didn't in here and finds Hammer, that would change things quite a bit.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think at this point, Gamma might be making his way on over towards the Palace of Darkness real soon.
We'll see.
Absolutely.
He might go turn in the green pendant and route pot in. He might just go into Mire for now. I think he's going to go into Mire.
He's going into Mire, so if he gets bottlenecked here in this Misery Mire, that may swing things or give Willard a little bit of a swing. As Willard is about to go pick up the boots in just a few moments. Game number 5. Winner moves on. The loser, their team is done as far as this tournament is concerned. The winning team moves on to the conference semifinals. They'll be facing off against CLW in the conference finals, that best of 5 series beginning next week.
Oh, okay. So now I just realized something. Willard, because he doesn't have the hammer, Willard can't go through the bow side. So he's got to go through the front door like Gamma did.
That's right.
Both of them are going to end up needing 5 keys.
Half magic. The first item we saw inside of this Misery Mire. Or was it the second? I didn't really pay attention to which direction Gamma went when he came in.
Look at that compass meter that you said that was useless earlier.
Oh, okay, yes. So that was the first one. Thank you.
Sorry, I had to
the compass is helping us commentators out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually normal routing in Mire when you in key Sanity because it's actually a little bit faster to route it this way.
Red Rupee is the second chest checked here for Gammachuu. Thank you for that number 2 that is on there that tells me so. Willard is checking Harmless Hellway. And it's just a map.
Okay, so he's going to be kind of in a similar situation. He's just going to have... He's going to get the Boots Nice right out of this, but he's going to be on the hunt for the hammer as well. So far, Gamma's got 3 more checks in Mire to make.
First is inside of this room, where we will find another Red Rupee. And another Red Rupee. I'll let you say what's in the 6th chest here, JP.
Well, I think we just saw a pendant ice. 3 bombs. So if Willard holds off on Mire, that's an opportunity for him to make time back.
He is starting at the Sanctuary, so his idea looks to be to check the boot spots So he will have the Palace of Darkness small key in just a moment, but he does need to get on over to the... Oh, that's right, Gamma doesn't have... Whoops! Does not have the hammer, so therefore...
He's gonna go turn in the green pendant, though. I think he wanted to route a green pendant cook into pod, but yeah, no hammer.
And then he realized, unfortunately, no hammer, no entry. There's the 20 rupees for Gammachuu. He's been seeing a lot of red rupees of late. And now he can flute to 4 and go through the castle portal. Or he can go to Ice Palace.
So Ice Palace in this situation, I believe there's 4 potential checks, or it might be 5. That's actually 5. It's 5 potential checks where. Okay, I get this right. I think there's 5 potential checks where the ice rod or the hammer could be in here.
And you gotta remember, there's another possible check that we can get to that is beyond the hammer, thanks to the icebreaker. Willard picking up the gold sword.
Not a huge advantage, but it will be a sword advantage he will hold over Gamma. It will give him a few quicker boss kills. So it will be a time savings for him. And since he went straight forward, it definitely is a time savings.
Hammer!
Overall. There's hammer. Willard's gonna check Magic Bat.
And Gamma ice breaks his way to a big key to Thieves Town. We are still...
Chat talking about that being Gomo. We're still quite a bit from that. We still need Ether. And we also still need the Meyer Big. Actually, those are the only 2 big. We still
need a bunch of. We still need a bunch of Turtle Rock Smalls.
Oh yeah, you're right. We need at least 2 Turtle Rock Smalls.
Willard fake powdering before he turns in the mushroom.
If he finds something here...
Ether!
Oh! Okay, that changes things a bit.
And that's something that Gamma can't magic powder break.
And that's kind of isolated for him at this point, too. It's an easy check for him, but it's isolated until he finds powder.
And Willard's about to trade in the mushroom to get the Palace of Darkness big key.
But he needs to go to Ice Palace.
Yes, he does.
If he goes to Ice Palace right now, I think this race changes in his favor.
Absolutely.
And he's buying magic. I think he's going to Ice.
He might be going to Ice, yeah. I'm sorry to the people that I just blew out their eardrums. There's the big key to the Tower of Hera, so now we can logically beat that dungeon.
No, Willard's going to Meyer.
Oh.
So this will be some lost time for him.
Yeah, he needed to go into Ice Palace to counter what Gamma's doing at this stage. But also bear in mind that Willard does know that there's a small key on the torch, and he wants that small key. Little does he know it's pod number 5.
For Gamma for powder, because it looks like Turtle Rock's a crystal, I think we know our 3 pendants at this point. Ice, Skullwoods, and Desert. It means at least powder will not be in GT. But there's a lot of isolated chests it could easily be.
Could be Pyramid Fairy. Could be... Did Gamma did the breastsmith chain, right?
He did, yes. But he did not do... He did not do the hammer pegs yet.
Yep. If you're cheering on Willard's team, and I know you are, JP, you don't want magic powder to be in those peg caves.
Basically, you need powder to be isolated. It's not on a straight check like in Swamp right now.
Mm-hmm. And if it is in Swamp, you want to LSS. And you want Gamma to make the gamble that left side Swamp is not going to be required. Oh, what a hilarious seed this is for game number 5 between Team Kappa, the divisional regular season champions, the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed, WJPTBB. Team Kappa got to rest last week while WJPTBB annihilated my team. We're bad at team names. Although, to be fair, those 3 matches were interesting and not too far off each other.
Mm-hmm. So Gamma's going into Thieves Town. He's gonna probably push dungeons at this point. He's gonna finish clearing Thieves Town, full clear Swamp, go back into Pod. And then after that, we'll have to see what he does. Willard, meanwhile, is about to be finished up in Mire.
He's going to check the spike chest here for the last possible check inside of this Misery Mire, and then he'll have to come to terms that this is going to be another dungeon that he's going to have to double back to. So we have 4 more items inside of this Thieves Town. And now you need Willard to go to Ice Palace.
He's gonna go in the desert and grab that key. And my fear is that he is gonna go to Pod.
Yeah.
Though Pod only has 2 items right now that he can get to.
Mm-hmm.
Ice,
since he already used up the key in the Harmless Hellway.
Ice has the biggest density of items for him right now.
Yeah, you're right. Willard pulling out the flute. If he flutes to 8, he's going to Ice. He is fluting to 8.
Alright. So Gamma's definitely got a bit of a lead right now, but it all comes down to where Powder is. And if Powder is the last item Gamma needs for go mode, essentially, then Willard's got time to catch up.
Small key to Turtle Rock. That's the other thing, is that we know that the answer to the question is not going to be Turtle Rock. And we get ourselves the map to Dark Palace. I wouldn't be surprised if Gamma finishes that dungeon in his next trip in, as Willard gets the hammer. So we're sitting at 2 Turtle Rock Smalls. We still need the Misery Mire big key.
Yeah,
we also need to know where this powder is.
At this point, yeah, it's 1 Turtle Rock Small, Misery Mire big, and we're basically in no mode at that point.
Willard having a little bit of an issue here with the icebreaker. There he goes. He will get the big key to Thieves Town. We get ourselves a small key to Ganon's Tower. And bear in mind, while we did all of this, there is a spot that we are both going to isolate. Both of these runners, that is, because of the fact that they did the Harapop.
There's a little less chance of isolation there because there's 2 items you
And
can
we're
go back
pegged.
for.
Here we go. So if you're rooting for Team Kappa, you want the magic powder to be beneath all of these pegs. If you're rooting on WJPTBB, you want anything but the powder here. And inside, we find the shovel.
Okay.
Do you want a fetch quest?
Gamma's gonna go check it right away.
Can't blame him at this point. He is running out of locations that he can check.
I think from here he's gonna check the shovel and then he's going into swamp.
Gamma about to dig something up. And it is $20.
We just gotta pick up the small key to go downstairs. Yeah, Gamma's going into swamp. Right now, Gamma's basically got, I'd say, about a dungeon and a half lead on Willard, but it just comes down to where powder is. And if powder is that last item, and it's somewhere really isolated, Gamma is in trouble. If powder is on Gamma's routes, then he's in great shape.
So Gamma now is inside of this swamp palace as Willard will be facing off against Cold Stare. This is one of those bosses where having the gold sword just makes easy work of it. And with that now, Willard is sitting at 6 dungeons beat. Or rather 5 dungeons beat.
Yeah, as much as we'd say that gold sword doesn't matter, this is where Willard is going to gain some time over Gamma and can make a little bit of time back.
Yeah,
because he's going to have some fast boss kills.
Yeah, he's not going to be making massive amounts of time. We're not talking minutes difference here. We're talking just seconds. And seconds do add up.
Willard's making the exact same play as Gamma did after getting that big key, and he's going into Thieves Town. Going to finish up Thieves Town.
Mm-hmm.
He might go with the swamp right away as well.
Yeah, that will make sense here as Gamma is going to find a Dark Palace small key that's number 6. So now he can full clear it. And there's the magic powder.
Okay, so Gamma's got it. The question is now, when does he check it?
Yeah, that is the major question here, because the powder is what leads to the ether. And the ether is what leads you into Turtle Rock, as we see Gamma trying to set up the diver down here. He is skipping left side swamp, at least at this position. We're not in go mode yet. We're not in no mode yet. We are still lacking a Misery Mire Big and Turtle Rock Smalls to get into that position. So he may still be leaving something behind over there on left side swamp. As Gamma gets ready to face off against Stargus.
Nice quick phase one, 2 fire rod shots and a spin. Nargis is down. So he left side swamp for now. Is he going to go back in?
I would have assumed that he would have went in and full cleared it on his first path in, given that this is a key sanity, but he is going back in. His brother picks up his second of the Turtle Rock small keys.
Still, so both at this point, Willard is a small key and a Misery Mire Big from Go mode. Same for Gamma, though Gamma also needs to go to Magic Bet to get his Ether. And while Magic Bet is a quick check, it's something he could put off a little bit.
Especially considering the fact that that one square at this stage is kind of isolated. He's checked everything else in that portion of the Dark World.
He is also running out of checks, though.
That's the big thing, though. At the rate we're going at this point, it could very well be a Turtle Rock into Misery Mire Big Key scenario.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that our Turtle Rock Small and Mire Big are both in Turtle Rock.
I'm still waiting for one of those 2 checks in the Tower of Hair to have something.
So, one thing I think they could make with this race interesting is if Willard decides I'm going to go to Turtle Rock right now. I don't think he will because he only has 2 keys, and now he's dashing towards Swamp.
He's dashing towards Hammer Pegs at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, right. But we'll see if Gamma's going to find something interesting on left side Swamp.
All right, left side Swamp. And Willard's going to get this shovel. And he'll probably check that immediately. Blue rupee for the first of the 2 checks inside. And the second item, as he pulls out the mirror, is a small key to Ganon's tower. No, okay.
So
Game, why are you doing this to us?
So there's a chance for Willard to make some time back if he does not do left side Swamp. He's going to do Pod first. And
Gamma is going to go check that powder. He's making sure that he doesn't lose or take words. Please help me at this point. Have loose squares lingering for too long, I guess is what I want to say. But he will be happy. And Chad is right. Willard does need to make this play. Willard doesn't know this, but this is giving us more information that we don't know from Gamma. Now, Gamma's going to take this ether coin, and he's going to go up the mountain, I almost assume. Because he's got that flute out and ready to go.
He could go either way. I think it's more like he goes to Pod first, but we'll see. Yeah, he's going to do Pod first as well. And the longer this goes on, the more I think this Gamma's just got an advantage at this point. He's got a dungeon lead on Willard. I'm trying to think of what could get Willard back into this race at this point.
What could get Willard back into this race at this point is if he finds his go mode before he goes into the swamp. Give him no reason to check anything.
That's a possibility, but he would need to dip Turtle Rock with 2 keys. If he gets a third, he might do that.
Yeah, I'm coming back into here. And I think the other thing is that Willard needs a scenario where it turns out to be that evil thing that I've been talking about for half of this seed at this point have something be in those 2 checks inside of the Tower of Hera that we Hera-potted past earlier. So Gamma checking this, and that is a heart container. I think if you're rooting for Willard at this point, you want this Helmosar to drop something. But I don't know if you really want him dropping anything, because you know Gamma's going to be checking this. You have to. It's a boss you have to be. And it's just a piece of heart.
So I'm pretty sure Willard will come back in to check the big key chest and the big chest, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Gamma ends up missing out on the bomb jump, and we'll have to reset it. If you're just tuning in here at the 88-minute mark of this run, this is game number 5. The winner taking all here, moving on to the next round of the playoffs between Team Kappa and WJPTBB. Adirondack Rick, Brewers fan JP with you here. Getting bombs inside of that chest, and Gamma is going to be mirroring and probably going back over towards the very start. Now, that's the last check here for Willard.
He's got one more.
He's got the big chest. Yeah, he's got the big key chest, yeah. This is an all dungeons key Sanity with randomized swords, although the randomized swords part doesn't really matter anymore considering the fact that Willard's got the butter sword, which we know Gamma's not getting because he left behind inside the lumberjack tree. As far as what we need for go mode, we are still lacking Turtle Rock Smalls as well as the Misery Mire Big Key. Item-wise, we've got everything. Willard, what's your next move? It's the 4, he's going to Swamp.
Yeah, he's going to do Swamp. Or, no, he's going to
check the shovel first. Then he's going to go into Swamp.
One thing that could help Willard, if Gamma doesn't do this, is if Gamma goes straight for Turtle Rock right now, Willard does Swamp, and then... Actually, okay, we got 5, 6 are Pot and Swamp. But yeah, if Willard does Swamp and then checks Pyramid Fairy, and something's there and Gamma skips Pyramid Fairy for now, that could also swing things.
We haven't seen races decided by Pyramid Fairy before, have we?
Yeah, they've probably been out there.
Yes, we have. Gamma facing off against the Helmosar King, up 1 dungeon over Willard at this point. And really for Willard, it was just his reluctancy to go into the Palace of Darkness that created the lead that Gamma does have at this stage. You can't blame Willard for that move. It was just bad luck, the fact that Palace of Darkness turned into a logistical required double dip because of the boots that were inside.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing in this race is just Willard putting off Pod for so long and just not getting those boots. And that's where a lot of the time difference is right now.
All right, let's see how Willard will handle this Swamp Palace. Will he go to left side Swamp? Or is he just going to go straight to Argus and leave? That's going to be the big question as Gamma makes his way up to the mountain. So he is not going to check Pyramid Fairy. So stay tuned, friends. This still is not done by any stretch of the imagination.
So Gamma is hoping for a Turtle Rock Small in Turtle Rock, which isn't a bad thing to hope for. It seems to happen quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a very, very fair move to make.
Yeah. If if he doesn't find one up here, and like I said, Willard goes to Pyramid Fairy, finds at least a TR small there, he could be in pretty good shape. Also could help if he finds the Mire big that leads to a Turtle Rock small in Mire.
Now, here's the thing is that Willard now knows that Turtle Rock is going to be in Logic now that he picked up that powder. Willard trying to set up the diver down here, and he gets it second try. So Gamma making his way into Turtle Rock.
So I'm guessing Gamma's going to at least find one of his 2 go mode items here. Either one Turtle Rock small to finish this, or the Mire big.
And there is one of the Turtle Rock smalls right there.
So he can full clear this except for the lava chest.
Until lava chest has the Misery Mire big key.
That is a possibility. Though if the lava chest has the Mire big key, then that is just yikes.
JP?
Yeah.
When in this seed has this played out any nice to us? The logic, when has it played nice to us at all?
Well, it's all Dungeons Key Sanity, so I think this is about what you'd expect for a seed like this.
JP, this seed forced them onto the mountain to get the flippers and the master sword so they can get the book off the waterfall fairy to end up going back up to get the lamp so they can get to Aga earlier. This seed is a jerk. And Willard is making the play that people were speculating that he needed to make at this point, as he has skipped left side swamp and he's going straight for the Pyramid Fairy. There's Turtle Rock key number 4. 2 Turtle Rock keys in the dungeon.
So at this point, it basically comes down to this. I think Willard's only hope to get back into this race is if the Mire big is in Pyramid Fairy. If it is, then this race gets very interesting.
And if Misery Mire is not in here, this race just continues to be just awful. AWFUL, awful. I'm emphasizing 2 of those letters. It's your guess which 2 I'm emphasizing. Small key, Mire, small key, Mire.
Yeah, I don't know where else. At this point, I have to think this is Gamma's race, unless there's not a lot of divergent opportunities available still.
Let's see which way Willard goes. He is going to a different route here.
He's going to Hera. Okay.
Spike Cave. Maybe Spike Cave.
Oh, Spike Cave, yeah, he might maybe both too. He might go Hera into Spike.
Let's see which way he goes first. And you gotta remember, he had that inkling, that nagging feeling about Hera in the week 1 of the playoff race against myself. When you Hera pot and you go this deep in and you're missing something, you feel really, really bad. No.
He's leaving it. He's leaving this way. He's
Which
definitely...
means,
I think he's going to do Hera.
Yeah, he's going into Hera. Small key to Skull Woods, which we do not need anymore.
I will say this. When we see a big key, it will be the Mire big key. It's the only one we do not have.
Willard is not. Willard is going. Willard is not. Willard is. Willard's not. Quit playing games with my heart.
Do you have NSYNC on the mind from yesterday with all the memes? Or is that NSYNC? Or is that another one? I don't know the boy bands.
It is in sync. Or maybe Backstreet Boys. Maybe it was 98 Degrees. ₹50. Maybe it's Hanson. Pops. There's the big key. It's Laser Bridge. 1 hour 38:34. Gammachuu is in. Go mode. Willard here in the same dungeon. At this point, Willard needs to catch up by execution as Gamma makes his way to face off against Trinex. Looked like Gammachuu was trying to set up the quick kill, but he doesn't have the gold sword. If only he knew where that was. Nice couple of spins right there for Gamma. Now he'll go ahead and mirror away and head on over towards the swamp, not swamp, Misery Mire. Pulls out the map for Turtle Rock as the prize for this dungeon. Well, gee, thanks, Trinex. And there's Gamma making his way over towards Misery Mire. Well, they're about to go and check the lava chest. Getting the small key to Misery Mire. Willard heading here to the south. He is going to go check Mimic Cave. It looks like that Gammachuu has set up the spooky action glitch. Not gonna need it for this first room since it started off the dungeon not hitting the crystal switch, but it's going to be for this second room. And there that is. Willard pulling out the $50 out of Mimic Cave. And so now Gamma will be facing off against the eyeballs of Vitreous, going to use the damage boosting through the goo. He actually does sit himself through the lightning. Down to 2.5 hearts, but does finish him off to get a bee in a bottle. And next up is going to be the trip into Ganon's Tower. As I am noticing my phone light up with a certain tweet by a certain somebody that may or may not be in chat that probably heard me misidentify the 90s boy bands earlier. And all I can just say is, hush you. So we get numbers in chat, and that would not, unfortunately, be for anything of any purpose this time around. Because we've already got the Ganon's Tower big key, so there's no need to put in your guesses to where you think the big key is going to be. The major question is will we find silvers on the way? There's the big key for Misery Mire for Willard. He's now in go mode.
Pretty safe to say that not going to find silvers. I don't see Gamma checking anything. He's just going to climb. They're probably somewhere in the basement.
And yes, I did fail Advanced Boy Bandonomics in high school. Thank you for drawing that on me. And thanks to our highlighting crew here at Speed Gaming, this will forever be remembered that I do not know my boy bands.
I mean, to be fair, I kind of messed that up too.
Well, you have reasons for that, JP. You have an excuse, I don't.
What would my excuse be?
You're under a tense situation here watching your teammate play.
Yeah, fair enough. Though I think chat's been poking fun of me at something else all day, so I guess you get your share too now.
Willard about to mirror on over and make his way over to Misery Mire as Gamma is climbing the tower. This chat.
We've moved from boy bands to
TLC.
Yeah. On Gammachuu side, he's just got to run up the tower. There's not much else that really can stop him. It's all execution at this point for him.
Gamma now about to face off against the Lammo 2 fight as Willard makes his way downstairs. It is going to be a 2-cycle for Gammachuu. And as Willard makes his way over to Fitrius, and Gamma is making himself up to the 6th floor in just a few moments. This girl is poisoned. No, that's early 90s. Good old Bill, whatever his DeVoe, whatever his name is.
Right?
I don't
I'm
care.
not even sure. I mean, I'm sure there's so many song references in chat right now. Then, yeah.
I can hardly keep up.
It's kind of just the end stage of a race right now. There's not a lot else to really talk about. It's basically coming to an end right now.
It is. Belle Biv DeVoe. Thank you. So Willard's now got the 7th crystal to go with his 3 pendants, and it will be making his way into Ganon's tower as Gamma making his way to Mole Dorm 2. Picking up 20 rupees for his efforts for killing off Moldorm 2 this time around, and Willard gets, I'm surprised he got past that dead rock.
Are we talking about Adirondack Rickrolls now?
No. I'm gonna have to abuse my mod powers if somebody brings up Brick Ass.
I'm sorry, I think I just made that happen.
You cannot time out moderator Brewers fan JP unless you're the owner of the channel. Gammachuu is down. Jeez. Oh God.
I'm sorry, Rick, I think I just doomed you to something for a while for commentary.
Thank you, JP. At least I'll let them forget about things like Spiral Cave and Bottle Vendor. Alright. Gammachuu misses up on his attempt to do the spin around, so he's going to have a 2-cycle first stage here. As Willard climbs the tower. Gets him into stage number 3. Where are the silver arrows, chat? You are under the belief it's in Ganon's tower, aren't you, JP?
Yeah, it's just the safe statistical bet.
Yes, they are in Ganon's tower. Gamma gets the first hit onto Ganon here, and it's now 11 more spins, and then we'll be serving up some bacon on this late evening. Trying to get him down here to the corner. Trying to get as many triple cycles as he possibly can. Gammachuu more than halfway through with this Ganon fight. A few more spins. And that will do it, as Gammachuu will earn Team Kappa the win. And they will move on to face off against CLW in the conference semifinals. They pull off the reverse sweep over WJPTBB, as Willard is now onto the 4th floor inside Ganon's tower. Willard with the gold sword. He's got 1 hit on each of these so far, and ooh, that's gonna be a 3-cycle there for Willard. Just barely missed. So now we welcome in Gammachuu into the conversation, and GG's.
Hey, GG's, thanks.
So tell me about your thoughts about the logic in this seed.
Lovely. Lovely because those Agate Tower keys were very early on, and it's almost an incredibly rare occurrence to get Agate, the Castle Tower, as your first dungeon cleared. So that was nice.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that both of those Agate Tower keys were Spear 1s.
Yeah, as soon as I got them, I kind of figured this has got to be an Agate seed, or there's something in Lumberjack. But no, it felt so nice because almost 90% of the time, an Agate Tower small key is usually what I need for go mode. So just to get that out of the way is so nice. What was not nice though with that Hammer and Ice Palace, I was so panicking because I felt like, if Willard did Ice Palace early on, he pretty much, whoever did Ice Palace first is the winner, is how I felt.
Well, you were the first one to do Ice Palace. The big thing that wound up happening for Willard was that he put off going to the Palace of Darkness. Now, first of all, we're going to start off with your post-Agate play. What prompted you to go into the Palace of Darkness after you got done with Agate 1?
Oh, I had the bow. I forgot I had the bow when I was doing mimics. I felt like I was very silly about that.
We were going to ask you about that because here you are pulling out your red potion to line up to do the bottle glitch that you did not need to do to find the boots that were not a sequence break.
Yeah, I should have known. I mean, I just finished doing, I think I did Eastern probably before even Pod. I don't remember, but yeah, I was thinking of that red potion I got early on, and I thought, okay, I could sequence break and get 2 more checks over here. Totally forgetting the bow existed, that I already had it. I just completely forgot. And then until I mirrored over after, no, I think it was Pod. Yeah, I did Pod first and Eastern.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Your team captain and league admin here is calling you a fool for that play.
I'll take it. I felt really silly when I did that. But I'm glad because their boots were over there, so that was a nice early boots.
Your team overcomes a 2-0 series deficit to come away with the win. What did you guys do to kind of get yourselves back in the confidence for this series?
Like Fear was saying in the last interview, it really came down to luck because I don't know. I kind of lost hope. Kind of. Like, it doesn't feel good. You're down 2 games already, and you have to win the next 3 games. There's a lot of pressure there, But, no, it feels really nice to make this comeback.
How nervous were you in chat earlier? Not even certain if you were going to be playing a game 5 afterwards. When JTP and Fear Agent were facing each other.
I don't know. I was just kind of hoping Fear made all the right plays, and I'm glad he did. But once I knew it was going to come down to Game 5, I was a little excited because AD Keys is a mode I play a lot. I really do enjoy that mode. So I felt like I had the upper hand here coming in Game 5.
One major advantage that Willard had at you towards the back half of the run. He fake powdered his way to that early Ether coin. But once you found the powder inside of Swamp, how bad were you thinking about that Swamp? Or rather that magic bat?
Oh, I just felt bad. I just finished full clearing Swamp Palace for absolutely nothing. I still needed 1 more TR small key. I was just really hoping at least, get 1 item. I needed Ether or TR small. And I got nothing. So
we're going to interrupt you just real fast as Willard has finished off with the Ganon fight. And he will be coming across the doorway in just a moment to wrap things up on this seed. And there he goes inside the door. And get your GGs in the chat for WillardJBradley. Both of you ended up Hera-potting. How nervous were you about those 2 items you left behind in the Tower of Hera, especially after you found the small and big keys for the Tower of Hera?
Oh, I was like, please don't do this to me, game. I just came up there and you give me the small key and I think Village Valcast or Thieves Town. I'm like, I'm not going back up there. There's no way I'm going back up there right now. But I'm glad it worked out. I never went back. I never checked the big chest or the basement.
Yeah, we never got to see what were inside of those 2 checks, even though Willard gave us a little bit of a scare when he started doubling back to Hero before going into Turtle Rock. Let's welcome in the runner-up of this race, WillardJBradley.
Howdy. GG's, Gamma.
Ooh. GG's, Willard. How did you enjoy the seed?
I mean, it was the 2 things that I hated the most about a seed: late boots, late hammer. So you can probably figure that one out pretty quick.
Okay, yeah. I felt, I figured you probably would have done pod right after Aga. So I just felt we were kind of an even pace throughout the seed until, that hammer happened. That kind of really worried me because I don't know how early you might have dipped it or...
I did pod, I think. I did Eastern pod, I think, like an hour in. So I went up the whole loop, the West Dark World, Skullwoods, all the way down, even made a dip into Swamp. And I don't know why. I just, as much as I wanted to go to pod, after getting the bow and Eastern, or the bow and the Eastern big, I was like, that's what everyone's gonna think I'm gonna do, so I'm not gonna do it. So, and if Boots hadn't been there, it would have been fine. But Boots being there kind of sucked.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Boots unlocked 2 of the Palace of Darkness small keys, making the Boots a logical requirement, and therefore Palace of Darkness was a double dip required.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it didn't feel too bad going in. I mean, I already had 2 keys, so I was going to clear a good portion of the dungeon. The Boots was just a nice bonus. I think I got something else too. Ice Rod was in there.
Ice Rod was in the turtle room in the back? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Boots hadn't been there and I had found Hammer anytime sooner than when I did, I would have felt a little bit better. I'm glad that my late game skips ended up working out. I skipped 3 things in Swamp. I wish I had just gone ahead and skipped Pyramid Fairy, and just because I was feeling good about at least 1 key for T-Rock being in T-Rock. Was not expecting both. That was surprising.
Yeah.
At the position that you were, though, Willard, you kind of were in a position where you needed Pyramid Fairy to play out for you because Gamma was already diving Turtle Rock at that point. So you needed the Meyer Big at that point to be there, or one of the 2 remaining Turtle Rock Smalls. But unfortunately, both the Turtle Rock Smalls turned out to be in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's pretty shocking. I was expecting 1. I
Same.
cleared so much. I did left side swamp too. So I just figured, at least 1. There's got to be 1, maybe in Laser Bridge or something. Then finding both of them was just wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think what really did me in, other than just the late hammer, the late boots, I made a really cool play that I was really happy with, going straight to Eastern at the beginning of the game. Literally, like, first thing I did was go to Eastern. And then it all came crashing down when, like, the last thing I did was go in front of Hyrule Castle. So I was like, cool, 35-minute Dark World access. It didn't matter.
Well, to tell you the truth, the Eastern play was a good play given the items that were inside. It's just unfortunate that what we will believe, both me and JP believe, is that the not going to the Palace of Darkness until super, super late kind of was the unfortunate move for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you really were putting off that pod because you were looking for small keys, big keys at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been convenient if I could have single dipped pod and beaten Eastern and pod at the same time on that first trip, but that was just one of those things you kind of either hold out for as long as you can and then begrudgingly go there later, which is what I did, or so just didn't have the luck on my side this time. Kind of feels bad though that I feel like I let my team down losing 2 games in this round, albeit I did feel like I played some really stupid modes. So thank you guys. All dungeon keys. Aga required all dungeon keys to get to the Dark World. I'll take that. That's fine. Do that all the time. Because then it's not a Castle Tower key for Go mode ever. It's perfect.
Yeah. I was happy about that. Getting that knocked out of the way. First dungeon feels great. Willard, did you end up going back up the mountain and Desert Palace? So you did those before going to Hyrule Castle?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
I even stole a key in Desert and did right side, and that had me sweating because I realized afterwards that it was a pendant. So I was like, oh gosh, this Desert Small could be like deep in GT. But
how happy were you to find it in Skull Woods?
Very happy. That was a big sigh of relief. And then immediately found the Desert Big like nearly after it. So, yeah. So late to Dark World, late to get boots, late to get hammer. You can't really come back from those plays. The fake powder was really nice, but I really needed powder to not be like right in the big chest.
Yeah, you needed that powder to be left side swamp at that point.
Left side swamp, or just somewhere not convenient. Spike cave, maybe pair a big chest or something like that. So seeing that, that's what kind of directed me towards making the skip in swamp. Is once I saw powder, I was like, all right, well now I'm running out of time. So. Either way, GG's. Good luck in the next round. Congrats on your reverse sweep. It's pretty sick. I've been on the winning side, the receiving side of that, or I've been on the winning side of that before, so I know how it feels to reverse sweep. So
you've been on the distributing side of that.
Correct. Yes. So.
All right, let's talk here with Gammachuu real fast, and I'll go back to your team. And will we have JTB coming in and joining us?
No idea. Probably not.
All right, well, first of all, Gammachuu, next up for your team is going to be the conference semifinals, as you'll be facing off against CLW. Your thoughts into that upcoming best of 5?
Well, I mean, I know they're pretty tough. Hopefully I just do well. I mean, I can't really say much. I anybody you face at this point in the league, it's not going to be an easy match. It's going to be tough. So just hopefully, I just hope our team does well, and yeah, we don't get randoed.
Yeah, unfortunately, rando is something that does happen. For your team, let me just double check this real fast. So you will be handling the green pendant. Who will you be facing off against from CLW?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't checked who I'm going to be going up against.
Scandalous Nabs.
Nabs. Okay, Nabs. I'm not too familiar with Nab, but yeah, like I was saying, anybody who's made it this far into the league is definitely not going to be an easy opponent. So I just hope, Rando's on my side that day.
Yeah, CLW being the divisional champions out of the Hyrule Castle division. They came into the playoffs with a 10-4 record. It is going to be one up taking on Swerve, and then Fear Agent has to play Pika Pals in the game 3 mode. Which of those 3 pairings are you looking forward to the most?
I would like to race off against Pika Pals if it ends up coming down to game 4, only because I think he's one of the other few rando players that uses a Pikachu sprite. Only for that reason.
That would be neat. Yeah, that's right. So with that being said, congratulations to your team, and now we turn on over to WJPTBB. This was your first play in the league here in season number 2, right?
Yeah, this is our first time participating.
Did you guys have fun?
No. Yeah, we did. We had a lot of fun. It was a good time.
What about you, JP?
I mean, probably not a good idea to reflect on this right now. I'll be honest. Was it fun? Probably. I mean, yeah, it was. But I'm definitely depressed right now and a little sick of feeling like I'm playing as well as I can and not getting anywhere. So, I'm kind of both sides.
Well, your team did have a fantastic run, making it to the number 2 spot inside of the division. And then, of course, winning their first match here against my team here with the team. We're bad at team names. Your team ended up carrying out the first 2 victories here as well. So you have to feel good about where you got. This was a league that started off with 64 teams. You made it into what was the remaining 16 teams here. So it was a fantastic run here for you guys. Hold your heads up high. And hopefully you guys will be back for season number 3.
If we get more boot start, please. For the love of God, more boot start. Please.
Maybe
And more
perhaps-
co-op. It's the two things I want.
I'd say I'd let Willard be the well, assuming the format stays similar. I'd say we'll let Willard be the Ambrosia player next time, but I can tell you Ambrosia doesn't mean you're gonna get the boots early.
No, Ambrosia's dead. It's out. I already talked to Fear. He told me that Ambrosia's out. They're bringing inverted Sanity for next season. That's what I heard. Oh wait, no, that's the ladder. That's a different thing. Yeah, dude, JP, I had a lot of fun playing games with you through the league, so I'm glad me, you, and JTB got together. Even though it was kind of just like a, you guys want to do this? Okay, I guess, whatever. And then, we had our ups and downs. We got second in our division, and then, made top 16. I wouldn't say we were expected to beat the Team Kappa, and heck, we got pretty close. So
you did. You got close, and again,
close.
you made it 2 extra weeks into this season, which is a lot more than what 40 of the teams in the league could say.
I'm
happy overall. Like, at least now we can play fun games, right? Like Mirio.
Like I said, it's something in a few days, maybe a week or two, I'll feel better about. But
yeah,
right after it happens, definitely feel down about it.
Yeah.
Let's get a GG's for WJPTBB in chat, please.
Yeah, definitely GG's. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Like I said earlier, I was very, close to pretty much writing off this week. Once we got our 2 losses that day, which I just really thought, okay, this is it. We're done. This is our final week. Show's over. But
I bet 1UP's feeling better now.
yeah. I'm sure he won't forget Ticket next time.
He might present him with a few extra gifts this next time around.
Yeah, we had a nice little team meeting afterwards, so that's
good. Well, good luck to you guys.
So we say goodbye to the origins of the team meeting meme.
Goodbye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please get your GGs into chat here for both of these teams. Team Kappa moving on, WJPTBB, who will be heading on to the sidelines to cheer on the remaining teams here in the league. We have one final match of this round, and it's going to be tomorrow in an epic Game 5. As we see the Titans Mints taking on Fendrana Drifters. Sailor Nep versus Jet082. It'll be over on SpeedGaming 2 right here on this channel. It's going to be game number 5. And the notes say we will now tie 6 times somehow, as both me and Fear will blow up if they do. You might need a 3rd player for your team if that does happen, Gamma.
You hear that, Fear?
We'll have a complete meltdown. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. Special thanks to Soko, who is doing the tracking for us. Right now, over on SpeedGaming 5, we have the Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer tournament match between NDS and Hype's Nova 1. So check that out over on SpeedGaming 5, plus a few other tournament stuff going on. Also, one final plug, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, you love to see it. It's the Mitch Flower Power Super Mario Bros. 3 point-based tournament finals. Who'll carry the $500 cash prize? Compliments of Mitch Flower Power. That's coming up tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern, over on SpeedGaming. I'm done with the plugs. JP, anything you want to add?
No, I think you've got most of it. Thanks for coming here today. It was a good time to come with you. I'm sorry for all the memes I've now established for you for your time for a while.
Well, we'll be musically inclined to debunk all of those memes the next time we do commentary. So let's get on out of here. Special thanks to everyone who joined us here on SpeedGaming 2. We'll talk to you next time. Good night, everyone.